guys, Joe Blue back again. I'm just going to respond to a comment, a particular one. I actually recorded this video once already and I'm having to record the video again just because of audio levels. Responding to this guy here by the name of Zibdy guy. Mate, you probably think I cheat, or even Des Denova, a popular hunt flicker. Please don't express your clearly wrong opinions. I took interest in this particular comment because whenever somebody says, mate, you probably think I'm cheating, they're a cheater. Usually pretty much confirms they're pretty much a cheater. All cheaters say the same things. You know, I've said this so many times. You start to recognize who cheaters are just by basically just the stuff that they say. This is what cheaters always say. So we've got this clip here. We're going to play a few seconds of this. I'm going to come back to this video though. Watch a few clips and just notice the tracking of this guy. Right, I think you get the idea. The guy basically just sticks to the dude like glue, basically. But the funny part about this guy's video is he's got this teacher the one frame tutorial, how to one frame. What's one framing? He has this video here snapping around like it's 1968. He's got the demon red eyes, a popular motif that is used consistently by cheaters. A lot of rotters uses it, and when you check like profiles of people when you get cheated on, you'll like hentai girls, you'll often find the red-eyed demons as a common motif that these cheaters use, just to get an idea of what this one frame snapping is, where it's just like snap to one person, to the next person, next person, next person, snap, snap, snap to the person, snap the person, snap the person, snap the person, so on. You get the drift. Now, the best part here about it is this tutorial, and we go here, how to one frame. Here we go, how to one frame. All right, turn this up a bit.
Like how frame flick? What is a one frame? What is a one frame flick? What is a how do you do it and all this? Now I've got here an example on my YouTube and one of my streams. I did perform a one frame flick. Now this one, I don't get the kill, right? But this one is.
Let's skip along a bit. Let's skip along to the actual snap where he's actually trying to show people.
On one frame, this is the thing. So he's doing the shooting, and then that right there. We go back and just go see again, and then snap. Now that right there is an example of a one frame. I go, if I can get it before the snap, so if I go here, I see the guy. Now I know most of where my movement on my mouse pad should be, so I move my mouse to a certain distance to know where I do this, and I do the one frame flick technique in order to perform this snap from target A, which is on nothing, to target B, which is on the player that I spotted, like so. Now right here, if you look closely enough, I do start tracking after that.
Yeah, okay. So that's the idea, the general idea of what he's trying to talk about. I think he has another clip. I'm just going to scan through, just so you sort of see that the type of things I'm skipping. I'm not skipping anything hugely important.
While it's not the
so he's got this Call of Duty clip here.
highest frames, it's another good example of a one frame. I know someone's over here shooting me, someone's in that direction, and now I aim down sights here because I know that if I aim down sights, obviously it's Call of Duty, if you aim down sights, you can have your more precision, and I do it before the flick. So look, I hear the guy shooting me. Now that was a lucky flick because I did not know.
It's a lucky flick.
Where he was. I just aimed, tried to get a center, but I kind of predicted that it came through here and it would be about here, because if he was down there he probably wouldn't have reacted fast enough or reacted that quickly to shooting me. It was more of a guess, but I was guessing he would have to come from this peak because as far as I knew I just came from this direction, and I looked here, there was no one here, so I snapped back around after I'm getting shot to look at this guy here, and I want to get the shot off on him, and because I do the I do the one frame technique, I don't hit a one frame. I do the one frame technique.
The one frame technique. This guy goes to the Struth Gaming, the God Aim technique. The guy's been studying in the same Shaolin temple as Struth Gaming. He's been going up and down the steps to like the Rocky music or whatever. He's been doing his montage with Struth Gaming to learn the ancient 5-finger one frame death move technique.
And I hit the player on my first shot accuracy, and look, I get the kill because of that. Now, you can tell by all my screen being all like this that I was really low, but because I hit the one frame, I had the initial fire, so I didn't hit the one. It wasn't actually a one frame flick, but it was a fast flick using the one frame flick aim style.
The one frame flick style. I don't know. I don't know how this. I don't know how these cheaters have the alleged cheaters. I want to get sued for defamation. These alleged cheaters, the audacity that they have, that they think that they can fool people with this nonsense.
That I used the one frame flick aim style in order to snap to someone and kill them before they could kill me. And this is one of the situations in which one framing can be utilized.
I mean, you think you'd utilize in all situations. I mean, it's generally good practice that you win trades, usually because you kill them before they kill you. That's generally how it works. So if anything's going to help you shoot first, then obviously it's always going to be useful in that situation. It's like he's making out like, oh, it's a situational technique. You could use it anytime, innit? It's only going to be always useful. It's like the way he's worded things are sort of it's almost like he's trying to be like reasonable or like diplomatic in the way that the technique is used in order to try and give it some sort of credibility, like it's not something that you just use all of the time. It's quite hard to explain, like what I'm trying to say there. It's like it gives away his that he's lying. Basically, it gives away. It's a small little tell that he's lying, because you just use it in all situations, right? You wouldn't try to make out that there's a situational use case usage for the technique. I mean, anything that's going to make you kill your opponent faster than they kill you is something you're going to use all of the time. I don't think there's a specialized situation, but he makes it sound like it's a situational thing, or that there's some kind of thought process or tactics in the use to make it seem like he's a knowledgeable person, like he has knowledge that he's teaching you when there isn't any knowledge there, but it gives the illusion that he's knowledgeable. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, and the fact that he's trying to do that is a tell that he's talking bullshit.
Now I've gone over a bunch of the reasons and a bunch of the things that one framing can, what a one frame is, certain ways it can be utilized.
He's constructing lies. You understand that the pausing and the thinking is because he's constructing lies in his head. He's trying to construct how to word it and how to say it to make it sound believable. As I always say to people, when I've debated about things uh, of a certain nature, let's say that the truth is simple, lies are complicated, because you have to construct lies. You have to have many layers and explain the lie. Truth is simple and straightforward. It's always it's like Occam's razor, right? The theory with the least amount of assumptions is usually correct, right? The truth is usually very simple and straightforward. Lies are complicated and over exaggerated with many layers and nuance to it. And you can see by the pausing and the trying to explain it that he's constructing a narrative around this one frame technique that he's talking about, right? And he's trying to make it sound like he's really knowledgeable on the thing. It's just constructed lies. There's no real knowledge here that he's relaying to you, the viewer.
I'm going more in depth, but this is just a basic beginning of how to and what is the best ways to perform and execute it and reasons.
I mean, did he really tell you anything about how to perform and execute it? He will be going to, but right there he's saying that that's a basic outline. I mean, it was kind of not really basic. It was kind of constructed to explain what he was thinking and trying to make out there's a case usage of this technique, but he's not actually giving you any knowledge. He's not giving you any real information. He's making it seem like he's giving you information, but it's like seeded bread. It's like they're not real calories. It's a waste. It's not real.
And what it is. So I'm going to
So let's skip ahead to the next part.
technique of the
He's basically going to spend about a good like 3 or 4 minutes here, um, essentially using this uh, hard mouse mat that he's using, this hard surface, essentially as a prop. He wants you to think that I'll let him speak, because I don't want to be accused of trying to brainwash you, like trying to make you think um, before you've had a chance to hear it for yourself.
one frame flick. So right now I'm using, I'll just tell you what the peripherals are. I'm using a G Pro Superlight with the SkyPad 3.0 XL. Now this is a very big pad and it's a hard pad, so you should hear, if I'm tapping, it makes a sound. It doesn't sound like a soft pad. Anyway, what I'm trying to say with that is, because I have a hard pad, it's much more easy for me to show with sound as well as with the technique to see what the actual flicks, or like the actual like flicks.
So it's a little bit strange um, what he's doing here, because it's like he's framing this like the reason why he uses this hard surface is so that he can demonstrate better the one frame technique, the 5 finger death blow one frame technique, right? And that's the reason why he has the hard surface, not because it is generally better for mouse control or that's just all that he had. No, he's framing it as it's a specific tool to um, demonstrate the technique. Now, liars often tell their hand, right? They often, something that they're using to deceive you with, they'll use it as part of the reason to prove why what they're saying is true. It's like a prop. It's like there doesn't seem to be any actual reason to have this hard surface other than to better demonstrate the technique. Or is it to make you think that he's using this technique because you can hear him using the surface? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he's pointing to the surface as being a tool to demonstrate how the technique is done, but it's really there as a smoke and mirrors illusion to make you think that he's a knowledgeable person teaching you how to do the technique, rather than it just being a prop to make you think that's what he's doing, which is what I would say he's doing. He's using it as a prop to make you think there's some sort of real reason to use it for the purposes of showing you the one frame death technique. It is a prop, like a con man's prop.
Need to sound or look like. Now it's easier for you to hear it through my microphone because I have a
Like you can almost tell in a way, in the way that he gestures with his hands, and he makes these sort of very deliberate moves with his hands and moving them around, is almost identical to, like, a magician or somebody doing like a shell cup scam, with, like, you put the thing under the cup, and then you move the cups around, and then he goes under this cup, and it's like it's all sleight of hand and like magic tricks. He's moving his hands in a very similar way as a con man. There's a magic trick happening here, right?
hard pad, which is it's annoyed people on stream, but it's also helpful for me to explain.
Right. So the thing that he's using annoys people in his stream that he uses it. So he's not using it, again, he's not using it for any kind of tactical reason that makes his aim better. And sorry, I just aim better with a hard surface. I'm sorry that it annoys my viewers. No, he's saying he's only using it because it demonstrates the God aim technique. And I just think it's just a prop to make you think that he wants you to think that it's for him to demonstrate that he's using the one frame technique. Do you get what I'm saying? It doesn't actually benefit or demonstrate anything at all. He's just telling you this is what I use it for, but really it's just an illusionary prop to make you think that what he's saying is actually true.
Explain this to people. So first of all, you want to look at the bottom of your mouth.
There's nothing under this hand. There's nothing under this sleeve. There's nothing up my sleeve. There's nothing. See what I'm saying? It's like very. It does sound. He sounds like a magician the way he's saying this stuff.
And you see where the sensor is. What you kind of want to do is, this is the best way I can explain it, in the best way I know that I can explain it in. You want to get your mouse sideways on your hand, well, and you want to well, you don't want to do this, but you want to get your mouse and you want to get the sensor, and you want to like kind of do that. But if you can do it from on the front, do it from that. You want to like do that, and then what you kind of want to do is, this is the best way that you can.
You see that the sort of uncertainty in his words. This is kind of what you want to do. You know, it's like there's no sort of. He's not very confident in explaining his technique, right? Which is just another little tell that maybe what he's saying is a little bit disingenuous.
Kind of explain it. You want to have
kind of explain it.
You will try and get it so the flick has half the sensor on there. Therefore, it will glitch the sensor into a full stop. So if I go like that, so if you can try and lift it, so the wrist movement's kind of like a. Like imagine if you were painting and you were just doing a flick of a paint, right? It's like a paintbrush. It's like art. So you just want to.
So this is another common thing as well, particularly with con men and cheaters, is they often like to think of their con or their cheating as an art form. There's an artistry to scamming people, to conning people, and to cheating people, right? Very common that you'll find that in cheaters to see it as an art form.
It's like art. So you just want a flick of a paint, right? It's like a paintbrush. It's like art. So you just want to like that. So with this, I'll do it a bit louder just so it's more obvious, but that's what I would have to do that more for long range flicks, and it's going to be quite loud. So.
And it's almost like, like I'm saying, he's using this hard surface as a prop. It's like what you call like Pavlovian conditioning, right? Like every time the dog hears the bell, he thinks food's coming, right? It's like it's like Pavlovian conditioning. He's using this prop, even though it annoys his viewers, and he's not saying it offers any tactical benefit, but demonstrates that he's using the God aim technique. So every time his viewers hear the clunk, 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 it's like a Pavlovian response. Oh, he's doing the one frame God technique. Do you know what I'm saying? He's conditioning his viewers with a Pavlovian response to the sound of this hard surface, so that every time people hear it, they know he's doing the one frame God technique. You understand what I mean by he's using the surface as a prop? It's not an actual tactical benefit. He's manipulating his audience with a Pavlovian training to associate the sound with him using a technique as a way of covering the fact that he's actually using an aimbot, and this technique is 100% bullshit.
What I'm trying to show you here is this technique is just basically like, you know how you do a flick. So you want to have your mouse in this part of your hand and just try and keep it straight as possible for now. I normally play like this, slightly to the side, but that's because I got used to it. But put your mouse as straight as possible, and what you want to try and learn to do is just move it in up, down.
We've seen enough of this anyway. We'll skip ahead. just more talking about the mouse. Now let's get to some actual demonstrations of the 5-finger def one tap technique that he's using.
We're into the actual game. So now I wanted to show you examples of what it should look like. Now I've got my hand cam here, and I've also got the in-game, so you can kind of see my arm movements when I'm doing this, and some of the distances might not correlate. So if I go like that,
What does he mean by some of the distance might not correlate?
this, and some of the distances might not correlate. So if I go like that,
This guy's an absolute clown, man, I'm telling you.
so if you want to go to this, wrist aimers will probably go like this. I go like, because I'm not an arm aimer, and you see the way my mouse is moving. It stops at a single location.
It doesn't stop at the same location.
And you see the way my mouse is moving. It stops at a single location.
It doesn't stop at the same location. He's splitting around at like what? Like, you know, 90-degree angles, right? He's going 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. But when he comes back around, he's not at the same locations each time. He's at different locations each time. Like, you know, if we see like there, right? So you see there he's aiming at the top of the, just above that, the red like Star Trek sign or whatever, the sideways Star Trek sign, the Federation sign or whatever. But the red, the flag, the yellow bit where he's aiming. And did he ever go back to the red flag? No, he didn't.
Examples of what it should look like. Now I've got my hand cam here, and I've also got some of the might not correlate. So if I go like that,
like
some of the, so you can kind of see my arm, my hand cam here.
Like he might be facing in the same directions, but his crosshair never lands back to the same point that it was. Like he might be looking in approximately the right area that he was looking in, but the crosshair does not correlate to the same location. So that's just a straight up lie that he's telling you to your face. It never lands on the same location twice, ever. He might be looking in the right direction, but he is not looking in, his crosshair doesn't end up in the same location.
Or this one there, flick to there.
He can't even flick. He can't even do basic flicking.
Or this one there, flick to there.
Right, so he under aimed and he's got to correct himself. He's over aimed to the left and he's got to recorrect back to the right. He's under aimed, now he's got to recorrect to go to the right. He's over aimed again, he's got to go back to the fucking thing. He's under aimed on the other one. He's over aimed again.
The thing is,
and drastically under aimed there to go back to that target. Let's go back 5 seconds. Let's change the speed. Right. You can see that he's over aiming. He's clearly not able to land. He can't flick accurately using basic flicks. Right? He can't aim using basic flicks. Now, presumably this 5-finger death frame technique that he's using, that he learned from Struth Gaming in the Shaolin Aiming Temple, right? That it must be more difficult to do the 5-finger death aim technique than the regular standard flick that people do. And he can't even do standard flicks. Can't even do standard flicks. Yet we're going to believe that he can do the 5-finger death aim technique that he learned in the Shaolin Aiming Temple. Come on, guys. Get serious.
but you can go bam, there, done. No mouse movement required. Stops in an instant location. Normal flicking, stop accurate with, but you can go bam, there, done. No mouse movement required. Stops in an instant location. Normal flicking, one frame flicking. Now, this is very...
Notice how he's not used the targets to use his 5-finger death aim technique. Hi guys, I just got to insert some of the parts where he's aiming again from a different video source because I changed some settings and the encoding is a bad bit rate. You can't actually see what he's snapping to, so I'm going to reinsert other clips at a higher quality so you can see the snapping to targets that he's clearly like missing the targets.
Is like this. So if I want to go like, oh, there's one there, flick to there. But the thing is, one framing, it's harder to be accurate with, but you can go, bam, there, done. No mouse movement required. Stops at an instant location.
Right? He hasn't used it on the, he's just done it on the air, like in places with like limited reference points. He's not even using it on the targets, and he doesn't for the rest of the video. I'll show you through the rest of the video, but he never uses the God aim, the 5-finger God aim technique from the Shaolin aiming temple. He never uses it on any targets to actually confirm he can even aim with this shit.
Useful and a very good thing because it's actually not very well known, considering...
I've got to like, you gotta try and hold back the laughter for this one. So he's going to tell you a bunch of reasons now why not a lot of people know about this technique. Only a few masters at the Shaolin aiming temple know this. This guy and Struth Gaming are the only ones that I know who know the 5-finger death aim technique that you learn in the Shaolin aiming temple. And it's just not very well known. And, you know, we've got to praise this guy for teaching us the secret Shaolin aiming temple techniques that only the elect few know about. But he's going to tell you some of the big problems why you shouldn't use the 5-finger Shaolin death aim technique.
The uses of it, I say it's quite underused, underutilized. Now, one thing I will say is there is reasons for it. Now, the reasons
It doesn't exist.
are pretty big, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it doesn't exist is the first one. That's the biggest reason why a lot of people don't use the 5-finger death aim technique, is because it doesn't exist. It's a myth.
You have the reason of getting banned.
Getting banned? Why would you get banned for the 5-finger death aim technique?
You have the reason of getting banned.
Getting banned, eh? Getting banned for the 5-finger death aim technique.
No. The reason why you can get banned from this,
because it's not the 5-finger death aim technique and it's actually an aimbot you're using,
is because you are moving from a location to another location, and if that
oh right, yeah. Generally that's what people do in games. They move from one location to another location.
A person, if you hit a person with that, flick, you go bam bam to another person, then of course people are going to be like, oh, cheats.
Yeah.
So if I, for example, head to head, like bam to another head.
This guy, like, does he actually think that he's convincing? Does he think he's actually convincing anybody that this is plausible? Right, so this guy's rolling up here.
So if I, for example, head,
right,
of course people are going to be like, oh, cheats.
Yeah,
so if I, for example,
right, so let's just say he's aiming on the exhaust pipe of this ship, we call it the exhaust pipe, in the black ring in the shadows area. You can see where the white dot is aimed, and let's see if he can re-aim to the same location using his 5-finger death aim technique.
Head to head, like bam.
Oh, I think you fell short of your target there, mate.
To another head.
What head? It's not a head. It's not a head. It's an exhaust pipe, and you missed. You didn't go back to the location you was at. You fell short. The 5-finger death aim technique doesn't work. Doesn't exist. This is an elaborate lie to hide an aimbot that he's actually using. The God aim technique doesn't work. It's not real. Just like Struth Gaming, his God aim technique that he learnt in the Shaolin aiming temple isn't real.
Anyone who sees that, who doesn't know about one framing, even
Everybody, no one knows about one framing.
people who do know about one framing, those sort of things can look very suspicious.
Yeah, like an aimbot.
So if I just go like, oh, there's a guy there, bam, 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 bam. Like you can do it repeatedly over and over again if you're good enough at it. But the example, what I'm trying to tell, well, the thing of what I'm trying to tell you here is, you can get banned for cheating.
Really? You can get banned for cheating? Thanks, man. I didn't know you could get banned for cheating.
The thing of what I'm trying to tell you here is,
It's like long pause. Right, I need to really sell the 5-finger death aim technique. I have to make people believe the technique is real so that I can use my aimbot and get away with it.
you can get banned for cheating on a few games of this because of report systems kind of being wacky and stupid.
Wacky and stupid reporting systems. Look, man, no one's getting reported in a few games and getting banned in a few games of reports. That's not happening. It's not going to happen. You're not going to go into 3 games of Apex and get reported by every player you kill and then get banned after 3 games. It's not going to happen. Like, if you've got a third-party software that gets detected by the anti-cheat, that might get you banned in 3 games. But reporting systems, who's getting banned by reporting systems? You need a lot of reports for a ban to be imposed on somebody for reports. I mean, we all know, like Hunt Showdown, ain't no one getting banned by reporting. And if they are, you never hear about it. I've seen people with accounts that are like 10 years old, clearly cheating and haven't been banned. So, Apex Legends full of cheaters. I can't imagine anyone's really getting banned through reporting. You'll get ban waves where, a cheat is detected and then a lot of people are allowed to use that cheat and then they're banned in waves in order to maximize the most amount of people being banned for using those cheats. But just getting banned for reports doesn't happen, mate. This guy's talking nonsense.
On a few games of this because of report systems kind of being wacky and stupid. And that's the risk versus reward of this.
Sounds like a pretty big risk if you can only use it for 3 games and then get banned. I'd say if I was a betting man, if I was a gambler, I'd say them's is shit odds. I wouldn't play them odds, right? I'd think, yeah, I don't really want to play 3 games and get banned every time I'd use this technique for 3 games and get banned. Yeah, I think I just wouldn't bother using it.
If you become good at it, you can get banned. But the reward is, your clips are legit.
Cheaters, cheaters. It's like cheaters don't like taking accountability for their own actions. For them, they're not cheating. You got to understand the cheater mentality. The cheater isn't cheating. They think they're better than you. Naturally, they think they're superior to you. They think they're some kind of deity, a demigod. They think they're not cheating. The cheats are an extension of themselves. They're Neo in the Matrix. I'm bending the spoon. I am the spoon. How can I be a cheater? I am the cheat. I am the aimbot.
A lot of people, if you get a community around you and you get people who know you, you can have people who know you who know you're not cheating.
Whoop. Ooh.
And you get people who know you. You can have people who know you who know you're not cheating. And even if the people that you know are accusing, you can have people who know you who know you're not cheating. Community around you.
Sounds like he's caught himself from a Freudian slip. He's going to say, no, that people know that you're cheating. And then he went, not cheating. Just quickly put it in there.
And you get people who know you. You can have people who know you who know you're not cheating.
Not cheating. Just quickly, a slight little stutter there where he avoided a Freudian slip there.
Community around you, and you get people who know you. You can have people who know you who know you're not cheating. And even if the
So basically, you want people who you know are cheating as well, who will prop you up and make it seem like you're a legit player, and or simps who don't know that you're a cheater and will simp for you. As you will see with all the cheaters, the people who get accused of cheating, they all have an army of minions to tell them, no, they're legit, you don't know anything. What about Shroud? What about Shroud? Shroud have a heart attack if you saw the shots he was making.
People that you know are accusing you of cheating, as long as you have never cheated in the past, if you've never cheated like this,
Say what, mate?
are accusing you of cheating, as long as you have never cheated in the past, if you've never cheated like this,
Like,
are
say what,
accusing
mate?
you of cheating, as long as you have never cheated in the past, if you've never cheated like this. No,
Sorry, mate. Can I get a slow down? Can I get a slow down?
are accusing you of cheating, as long as you have never cheated in the past, if you never cheated like this.
Cheated like what?
Never cheated in the past, if you never cheated like this.
Like what?
Never cheated in the past, if you never cheated like this.
Cheated like this? Like what you're doing now? Is that i- is that a Freudian slip? You just outed yourself. So he avoided a Freudian slip earlier, and then moments later, he immediately dropped himself in it and said, cheating like this. No, he didn't mean to say it. He misspoke.
Are accusing you of cheating, as long as you have never cheated in the past, if you never cheated like this.
Pause, realizes that he's just basically incriminated himself.
And as long as you know you are not cheating.
And then he's got to reiterate into people's minds, as long as you know you're not cheating, right? Brainwash yourself into believing that you are the aimbot. Cheaters can't accept accountability for their actions. You are the aimbot. You are the spoon. He is a massive spoon.
You should never be banned. Like, you can be, and it is very possible that you will be. But if you know you're not cheating,
If you know you're not cheating,
then all your clips will be very impressive with the one frame between targets, and you will know yourself that I'm doing this legit. Look at my improvement over time. I really, like, you can see that, oh, this looks like cheats, but yeah,
it looks like cheat. Yeah, it's almost like a, it's almost like a psychological. He's basically admitting it. He's trying to make it seem like, yeah, on to the next point, but it's almost like it's like a subliminal admission of cheating. Like it looks like cheating, yeah, and carries on.
over time, I really, like, you can see that, oh, this looks like cheats, but yeah,
But yeah, it is cheats. but yeah, it is cheats. I don't want to.
over time, I really, like, you can see that, oh, this looks like cheats, but yeah, it's very impressive. Just be aware of the risks. You need to make sure you're doing it correctly, and one thing I will say, if your one framing doesn't necessarily look like me, because
Why wouldn't people's one framing look like yours?
one thing I will say, if your one framing doesn't necessarily look like me, because I have a specific aim style.
Oh, he's got a specific aiming style, guys. Is like he can teach you the 5-finger death aim technique, but the master of the 5-finger frame death technique is just it's in another caliber, and it can't just be taught.
Anyway. But yeah.
You can almost hear, like when he exhales, you can almost hear the laughter in his exhalation, like the sort of background. I know I'm talking shit. Like in his sigh, in his exhalation of his breath, you can almost hear laughing in it as he realizes this is just complete bullshit that I'm doing here. Like he's missing his target. He's not even...
Me, because I have a specific aim style anyway.
Look, these are some of the worst flicks I've ever seen in my life, mate. He knows it. He knows these are some of the worst flicks that you've ever seen in your life.
One thing I will say, if your one framing doesn't necessarily look like me, because I have a specific aim style anyway. But yeah, I have a specific aim style anyway. This is my normal aim style, and this is my one frame aim style. Now, because my aim style is like this, I'm very good at horizontal movements, such as 180 degree flicks. I'm pretty good at them. But the reason for that is because of Overwatch more than anything else, which is a game I don't like anymore. Smells. Anyway, besides that,
But are not accurate. They're not really usable in an actual game situation. And you can hear the laughter in his exhalation when he sort of realizes itself that this is complete fucking bullshit that I'm dropping here.
Specific aim style anyway. But yeah. But yeah. But yeah. I have a
I know that there'll be an army of people saying, "Oh, you can't tell that he's laughing behind his exhalation. You're just not perceptive enough, mate. You just don't have the perception necessary." I know that sounds, oh, he's so arrogant. Some people just have skills in it. You know, I'm like Liam Neeson in Taken. I have a special set of skills. You know what I'm saying? And I can hear the laughter in his exhalation. I can hear it. I can sense it.
But yeah, I have a specific aim style anyway. This is my normal aim style, and this is my one frame aim style. Now, because my aim style is like this, I'm very good at horizontal movements such as 180-degree flicks. I'm pretty good at them. But the reason for that is because of Overwatch more than anything else, which is a game I don't like anymore. It smells.
Oh, I don't like Overwatch. It smells.
Anyway, besides that, if your one framing doesn't necessarily look like this, there is very different ways that people's aim can look, even when they're one framing. So some people's aim might be one framing, but might be like more sticky.
More sticky? Please do explain. Let me pull that back.
So some people's aim might be one framing, but might be like more sticky.
Like an aimbot? Maybe? Possibly? Like, is it a possibility, a small little chance that maybe if it looks a bit sticky, it's because using an aimbot? Using a fucking aimbot?
I don't know how to explain it, but
Aimbot.
other people's aim might be very different to mine with one framing, and that's fine.
That's fine.
As long as it's might be very different to mine with one framing, and that's fine.
It's like he's just laughing again in his exhalation. That one's more obvious that he's laughing in his exhalation there. The other one you can argue that it's not as obvious. I can sense it, but that one's pretty obvious.
Other people's aim might be very different to mine with one framing, and that's fine. As long as it's
And that's fine.
one frame, it can be very impressive. And the reason why I want to get this light is because I often get called a cheater for many of the stuff that I do in games, and that's my goal. That for my
Here we go, guys. How many times I've got to tell you? Cheaters always take cheater accusations as compliments. Now, legitimately skilled people, no matter what field that you're in, will not take accusations of being a cheater or a fraud in any way as a compliment. If you're somebody who cares about skill, then you care about your image and your perception of being a skilled person or player, etc. Like, the thing that you live for is to be the best and have people think you are the best, right? That is the goal for any person who is legitimate with their skill. If you're a writer, a film director, a musician, you want people to think that your skills are legit, that you didn't steal ideas from other people, you didn't steal stories from other people didn't write stuff for you, etc., etc., etc. You want people to believe you are that good, and you want people to think you're that good. You don't want people to think that you cheated or frauded your way into success. And anybody who cares about their legitimacy of their skill in their field will care about the perception of their image. Only cheaters will take cheating accusations as compliments because they never receive actual compliments. He even admits it himself. He gets called a cheater all of the time for the things that he does, because everything he does looks like cheats, because he probably is cheating, and therefore he never gets actual compliments that you are good at the game. He gets accusations, and psychologically, in order to be able to cope, a coping mechanism to deal with the constant dealing with reality, is to do the 8 mile flip, reverse it, take your negative criticisms and turn it into positive criticisms. So they take their cheater accusations and turn them into positive criticism that makes them feel better. That is the psychological trick that they play on themselves, because they don't get called good, they don't get compliments, so they have to take their accusations as compliments, because that's what dirty, filthy cheaters have to do to cope with the reality they're shit at games.
Me personally, I aim to be called a cheater because it makes me feel better. But
It makes you feel better about being a cheater because you don't get actual compliments of being a cheater. You don't get actual compliments of being a legitimate player. You only get accusations of being a cheater. So you have to change your mentality to want to be called a hacker to make you feel good, because you're taking it as a term of endearment, whereas anybody who is actually legit will be insulted by being called a cheater.
what I will say is the risks of that almost outweigh the reward in some ways, depending on how good you get.
What risk of being called a cheater?
If you don't want to have to waste money on rebuying games in order to play them again, I would recommend not spamming this. But what I will recommend is learning it either way, because even if you don't get the technique down for a one frame, then you'll be fine. It doesn't make a difference. You just have.
That's like his little attempt there to try and say, I can't aim with it.
Because even if you don't get the technique down for a one frame, then you'll be fine. It doesn't make a difference. You at least have the ability to snap between targets, which is great.
He can't. He's proven that he can't snap between targets.
You at least have the ability to snap between targets, which is great. You at least have the ability to snap between targets.
Not on target. You're aiming on a shield or some shit.
You just have. You at least have the ability to snap between targets, which is great.
Which is not. He's not doing that. So, as he has displayed in his own video, this guy can't even do regular flicks. And he's also shown that this one frame flicks are also not accurate. Yeah, he showed multiple clips where he bang snaps the target, bang snaps the target. But in a situation here where there aren't any human players and there isn't anything for an aimbot to lock onto, he can't lock onto a specific target, either under aims or over aims, and he has to correct whether he's using regular flicks or the 5-finger death aim technique they learnt in the Shaolin aiming temple with Sleuth Gaming, right? He is not proving that he can use this in an actual game scenario. Everything he's done proves that it doesn't work. It's all just a ruse to make you think he has a technique. It's just cover for his cheating. And this video is there to make it look like he's helping people and teaching people a technique. And then he'll have his minions, like he says, he's got all of his minions to say good info. Thanks for the video, mate. All of these people are all of his like-minded people that you need to get to say that you are legit or that you're getting good information from it, to make it seem like this guy is legit teaching somebody something. He has shown that he can't use this technique in any actual real usage scenario. He can't aim. He can't even flick with standard flicks. He can't aim. He has no skill. He has demonstrated zero skill in this video. This video exists to attempt to trick idiots into thinking that he has a technique. There is no technique. There is no one frame technique. He's just fucking around with his mouse and then saying that he uses it to track on people, but has not been able to prove he can actually do that at all in the video. Right, now we're going to make our way over to another person, another YouTuber by the name of Crash Project. Now, I believe this guy has played in tournaments, in some games, probably Counter-Strike, something like that. I don't know for certain. I think he has a competitive background. And he's talking about Dead Drop, Dr. Disrespect's game, and how there's cheaters in it. And he's basically using quite a decent method to determine if this guy's using lock-on, using an aimbot. And we'll play a bit of this. And I think it's important to use this video to support against Zibdy.
Guys, what I got here today, I tried to do something a little scientific or whatever to back my claim up. This is a kill that Zeph did, and I'll show you the video after this. Boom. Right here before he locks on. And see all those mashed up dots? It's hard to see, but they're all together like this. Well, that's shouldn't happen because it should move every frame unless you're locked on, right? So, bam, see. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then after that 7 frames, he stays locked on. If you look at his crosshair here, you can see it's right in this little black area between his book bag and his back. He's not locked on, locked on. Lets off. Now if you keep watching it, which I didn't even see this till the tracker showed me. See how everything moves? Every frame's different. For some reason, that right when he locked on where I thought, that's exactly what happens. Right here, where it starts jumbling up again, if you look at his crosshair, he locked on again, right before he went out the door. That's why it's all jumbled up right there. I didn't even see that until after this. Alright, so remember, I didn't do this. This was AI did this. So, right here, locked on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 frames he was locked on. Zeph's a cheater, you guys. I'm sorry.
Right, and then later on he talks about this guy called Matty, who's in a championship for basically tracking in aim labs, and he wins first place or whatever.
The
So yeah, show this part here.
aimer in the world, or at least according to aim labs in this tournament and Red Bull and all that stuff. But
this guy Matty won this tournament for tracking.
Matty is amazing. If you don't know who he is, go check out his channel. The kid can aim. He's crazy good. The second place guy's not even close. But even he can't stay pixel perfect for 7 frames. He's close sometimes. 1, 2, 3. It's moving, but I'll give it to him. 4. No. Back on target. 1, 2. Nope. 1. Nope. 1. Wait. See? Even he can't do it. It just doesn't happen. But here's the full video.
Flicking, well, the reason is because tracking, it requires really fast reaction speed to react to the change of direction of the targets. Whereas the flicking and switching tasks, some of them, the targets are static or they're kind of in a floating position.
So this guy, this Matty guy here, one of the best aimers in the world in aim labs, won this tournament. Even he can't stay locked onto a target pixel perfect for 7 seconds straight like this guy Dead Drop did, right? He's holding on for a couple of frames at a time. It seemed like the most he held it for was about 4 seconds in that clip, 4 frames, sorry. And he's generally holding on, locking onto the position for like 1 or 2 to 3 frames, locked to the target, but constantly moving and having to readjust. And the objects aren't moving that fast, relatively speaking. And if we go back to Zibdy's video here of the finals, and we'll start watching these clips again, it's like we'll watch this whole minute clip. We'll turn the audio down, and then just think how fast these targets are moving, and how Zibdy sticks to these targets like glue, barely altering his position at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? How he sticks to them like glue. He never leaves. He never like comes off of them. He's literally stuck to these targets like glue, and they're moving faster than those targets were in that competition. And even the best aimer in the world couldn't stay locked on pixel perfect for more than a few frames at a time. And this guy's literally fully tracking people through the air. When they move about and jump around across the screen, he's tracking them with them with pretty much near perfect accuracy. I'm pretty sure that he's using an aimbot, right? I mean, I've not broken it down frame by frame like Crash Project has, because it takes time. But I think you can see with a brain, oh, don't insult people. You're insulting people's intelligence. I mean, if you've got eyes in your head, mate, you can see that the guy's stuck to targets like glue, and it doesn't look natural. It doesn't look human. So Zibdy is pretty much confirmed he's a cheater. 99% for I don't want to get sued for defamation. There's a chance that he might not be cheating. He's totally cheating. He might not be cheating. Totally cheating. Might not be cheating. 99% certain. But yeah, this guy, he went to the same Shaolin temple as Struth Gaming, learnt the ancient Shaolin ways of the God Aim technique, and his kind-hearted self is teaching you for free the ancient God Aim technique learnt in the Shaolin Aiming temple with Struth Gaming. What a guy. But anyway, man, GG guys, laters.